Yes, people, what is going on? We're back with another one, and as you can see, we're back in the car today for one of the car chats. I know a lot of you lot like these videos, and honestly, they're my favorite video. They are my favorite videos to film. On a reel, I've been gassed to do these for a minute, and I've got a fair few stacked of stuff I want to talk about, specifically that I think, you know, as always, will help you guys because it's helped me. And some of it is stuff that I want to know more about as well, that I don't particularly have much experience in, but it's been talked about and I want to talk about it more with you guys. However, today's topic is something that if you've been following the channel for a minute, if you're part of the Discord, you know that I have got a fair bit of experience in this part of stuff. And that is the cheaper strains on UK Medical. Should you buy the cheaper strains? Should you even entertain it? Is it a waste of money? You know, are they all dead? I'll be honest, I'm going to answer that in this video completely honestly. You will get the truth. I am not going to sugarcoat it. I'm not going to sit here and glaze everything and say everything's fantastic, but I'm also not going to hold back if something is good and saying it is good. Do you know what I mean? So if you're interested, people, stick around. We're going to be breaking it all down, and ultimately let me know, do you think it's worth buying the cheaper strains on UK Medical? Off the bat, right, I think there's a few reasons to be buying these cheaper strains. For me, it originally started due to the inconsistency. So I started out buying £85 packs, £100 packs. I'm not gonna lie, the £100 ones I didn't pay £100 for. I paid like 75 on discount. I didn't even know because they don't tell you. At the time I was dead new and I tried to re-up on it and it was a £100 pack and I thought, what? And then over time of getting these 85ers, I realized there's no consistency in the quality, or well, basically that's it, the quality. There's no consistency in the quality, but the price is higher. And a lot of people told me before getting involved in this stuff that that's where the quality sits, is with the price. I'll be honest with you, due to having inconsistent quality at that price, I decided I don't want to waste my money and I wanted to kind of go on the cheaper end of things and see what's going on. I ain't gonna lie, there is definitely inconsistency in quality there. I think as an overall, the market needs to gain more consistency. But that's not what this video is about. This video is about, should you try the cheaper strains? And in my opinion, yes, absolutely. Because no joke, right? I have had some absolutely epic stuff at 85, yeah? 70, 75. Really nice flower, yeah? But at the same time, I've had mid to mediocre. I wouldn't say I've had the deadest of the deadest at that level, but I've had definitely mids and below, right? And when it's come to the cheaper stuff, occasionally I have had some trash. I ain't gonna gas it up. That's kind of the story of me going through, shall we say, the expensive stuff to the cheaper stuff and then bouncing back to the expensive stuff, because one month I got a really bad setup of cheap stuff that was awful, mate. It was like tea. It was nasty, bro. No one needs to be having flour like what I got from Fruit Cup by Together Pharmacy and Welford Luma Banjo. Both of those was trash, mate. If you tried either of them and you think they were good, maybe you got a different batch, I don't know. But for me, they was awful, mate. Like, it was the worst medical I've had the entire time. So much so, it stopped me from going on the cheaper strains. Now, I'd been doing them for a couple of months at that point. I went from the more expensive down to the cheaper stuff, found that there was still a bit of inconsistency, but it was all mids or above. And then you'd get a few bangers occasionally that were like just as good as the 85, 100 pounders. And you start thinking to yourself, where are they getting these prices from? Over time, more conversations I had with people, you're getting these inconsistencies with bud sizes, for example, which we all know is going to affect THC content and terpene content slightly and stuff like that. Naturally, due to where it is on the plant, right? You're getting that across the board. People are paying £100 for Blue Lobster and they're getting all small nugs. And then someone's paying £45 for some OG Kush Breath, me, and the nugs were massive, mate. And it was honestly really nice bit of flower, and some of the cheaper ones I've had recently have been some of the freshest packs I've had on medical, like no joke. If you ain't seen the last video I dropped, you'll see my reaction. Some of them are a bit muted. I ain't gonna gas it up like they're not, but they're not dead. They're at least mids and above, and then there's some that are really top tier quality, man, and fresh. That's the main thing to me, is it's fresh. I'm not bothered about THC percentage. I'm bothered about terpenes. I'm bothered about how fresh it is. So are the terpenes still there and active, or are they all evaporated away? Now that's the problem with some of this stuff. Like it might be expensive, but then it's been sat on a shelf because no one's buying it. And then all of a sudden it loses what it had to begin with, if it even still had any left by the time it got to where it needed to get to. Because, you know, some of these packs are sat around in warehouses for months and months or a year, and it may have been good to begin with, but by the time the end users got it, it's just not there. So basically, I think personally, as I've done this, I've skipped a bit there, right? So I got that 1 month, I can't get my words out, mate. I got that 1 month where I had the Welford Luma Banjo and the Fruit Cut by Together Pharmacy, right? I got so annoyed, like, I was fuming, bro. Like, you know, the day your script comes, you're buzzing. The second I opened both them pots, I was bouncing, bro. One was 65 quid and one was 45 quid, right? And they were both dead. Maybe one was 60 and one was 45. They were both dead. At this point, I'd had stuff as low as 55. I hadn't gone any lower than 55, right? And I'd seen some proper bangers. I'd also seen some mids, like I say. But at this point, I was like, nah, I'm not doing this again. I'm not wasting my money. So I went back for the more expensive stuff, and I got some Aurora, which I'd heard a lot of good stuff about. I'm not going to lie, mate. Both the Auroras I got, they come through muted. They looked good, almost. They were very dense, shall we say, right? I'm not saying it was PGR'd, but I'm saying both of them they were different cultivars. It can happen, but they both looked exactly the same, the nugs. They were different terp profiles, but they were both muted, like really muted for what I expect for £85, considering I've had stuff that's nowhere near that at 55 or 75 or 70 or 60. So I kind of got pissed off again with spending the 85 and decided to go back down the other end of the market. Now, by this point, I've started to see stuff coming in at 45, 49. You're starting to get Big Nasty Medical, who I'm going to do a separate video speaking about Big Nasty Medical in general. But for those who didn't know, there was a lot of bad stuff talked about the flower from Big Nasty Medical to begin with. And from what I understand, these guys have changed their growers now. So we've got a lot of it being grown non-irradiated, which is an absolute thumbs up from us. You've got non-irradiated. You've got the price being reduced by £20. So it used to be, some of them were like 70, I think they were. They're now down at £50. Some of them were more than that, I'm pretty certain. But they're now down at £49.50 or even £40 for the Jack Kush, which is crazy. Like it's not crazy. I think that's where the market should be at. And that's another point for me to just go into. If we don't start driving the market where we want it to be, it will never get there. And I get it, right? We all like to have the designer packs. Like that's what we've been kind of brainwashed with through the black market for years, that the higher price you pay, the better you're going to get. And yes, okay, maybe. Like I understand if stuff was there at £2, £3 a G, and there was other stuff at £4 or £5 a G, potentially the stuff at £2, £3 is going to be an older batch. It's going to have been sat around a bit longer. Maybe it's smalls from the bottom of the plants. Maybe, do you know what I mean? You can expect that. But currently what's going on is not that. It's not price is correlated to quality. So I can't think of the fucking word then. It's not price is correlated to quality currently, which is weird. Like most things in the world are that. Yes, there's little nuances. You might get a certain geezer that can sort you out, and that's the way of the world, right? I get that. But we're talking about medical flower that you're buying from an actual pharmacy. It's being dispensed by through your doctor. Do you know what I mean? There is no reason why you shouldn't be able to correlate the price with the quality. And I think that people are buying those high priced packs, getting a bit kind of pissed off with the fact that the quality's not there. Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't, but it's not consistent. And then they think all medical is a joke because they're buying the best stuff. But in actual fact, like I have loads of people commenting saying that. And in actual fact, right, even if you tell me all medical's dead, which I get all the time, yeah, it's not. I don't care. You can scream it out my face. I don't believe all medical's dead because I have had medical that's not dead. I've had medical that is, though. So I don't want you to get it twisted. And I know the majority of you out there, that you're going to pick up what I put down, as I always say. Do you know what I mean? You get what I'm saying. But there is definitely some people who just don't get it and think that you know, I'm saying that dead flower's good. I'm not, and I never would be. What's the point? I'm not. The whole point of this is transparency, me sharing my experience within this legal market to help other people out, you know, to navigate their experiences. And I'm not you know, I don't know everything about flower, but I've interacted with this plant for over half of my life, right? And that, just to say lightly, that's about 15 years of interacting with this plant every single day for a long time. And I'm the type of person who wants to learn more and learn more. And I tell you what, since getting involved with you lot, I have not stopped learning more than I ever have, because there's conversations I have that I realise something I didn't know previously. And I'll never, ever be that guy to think that what I'm saying is gospel, right? As I say, I could get something that I think's fire and another person gets and they're really not impressed with it. Is that a quality issue? Is it a quality between the batches? I'm open to the idea that maybe I just think it's good and you think it's not. I don't know. I'm not you, do you know what I mean? But what I'd say is it's still worth me putting out my opinion in this context, if you like, because I think not a lot of people are thinking from this aspect of, you know, this is our market, right? Just because they're selling it to us at this price doesn't mean we have to buy it. So if we're all buying, I might be going around the houses here, but what I'm trying to get at is if we're all buying £100 plus, there's some packs that have been £130, mate, for 10 gram. I think you are taking the mick out of patients at that. You are absolutely hoping to clean up, scoop into the Cali buyers and make them think that they're getting a bargain for some top tier packs. And when it turns up, it's subpar. But do you know why? Because the person who is bothered about trying to make the most money off of someone isn't bothered about the quality of the medication. Whereas instead, somebody who's bothered about the quality of the medication, like for example, what's been going on with the Big Nasty stuff and many other companies, they're starting to drop their prices, mate, because they realise that people don't want to be paying stupid prices for something that's not good. And in fact, people don't want to be paying stupid prices for something that is good. They want to pay a fair price for a fair, good quality product. Like, that's it. Just the same as every other market. And slowly, these ones who are selling £100 plus packs, right? And I say that, you know, even I personally think they shouldn't be £70, £75. Shouldn't be this price. We're talking about a plant that grows out of the ground. Like, you should be, yeah, let's not even go down too much roots with it, because I'll just go off on next tangents. But I don't see the reason why we should be giving our money and saying that this is okay. When you buy these packs, you are literally telling these companies, like, I get it, there's people who are reviewing, right? And it's great that there's people buying them. I'm not, please don't take this the wrong way, people, right? I am not saying, you know, don't do what you want to do. If that's what you want to do, that's fine. But for me, I don't see the point in giving my money to a company that I disagree fundamentally with their pricing structure, because I think it could be higher quality. I'm telling you now, right, from experience, there is no fixed quality to price thing currently in the UK medical market. There should be, but there isn't. It's not like the black market where that 9 times out of 10, all right, you might have a special plug and you can get something that someone else can get for a cheaper price. Sound. But still, it's worth more than you paid, essentially, on the market. Whereas currently, we're all fucking the market up for ourselves by buying these expensive packs and then going, this is dead. Like, it's good that people are saying, you know, this is not good. Get my words all mad there. But yeah, it's good that people are saying that this is not good, because it's giving the feedback. But also, why don't we just switch it up a bit and start buying the cheaper ones and then let all of the more expensive ones go to expiry and go out of date, or when they're about to go out of date, they have to massively reduce them, and then all of a sudden they sell, and then they get a load of positive reviews from people who are going, oh, this one's actually really good, or this one's actually really trash, but you know what, I only paid this much for it, so I don't mind so much. And slowly what happens is they start to notice flour sells at X price rather than Y price. And I say that as in it'll sell at the lower rather than the higher, you know what I mean? Because we decide to buy it more at that. Like, we're talking quantities, mate. Like, if you go on Medbud right now, there is strains with 145 kilo in stock, bro. 145 kilo, right, of one strain. All right, it's across pure pharmacies, but we're talking silly numbers, man. And do they really need to make an extra £7 a gram on you when they're selling 145 kilo? Do you know what I mean? £7 a gram. We're talking 1,000 grams in a kilo, people. So that's 145,000 grams, right? I'm right there, aren't I? 145,000 grams of one specific strain, and they need to mark the price up by an extra £5 a gram even. It's not needed. It's just hunting for profit. It's trying to make money off of us, and it's ultimately driving the market to somewhere we don't want it to be. So do I think you should try the cheaper strains? Yes, I definitely think you should try the cheaper strains. Do I think they're all perfect? No, but you tell me, you know, I won't believe you, even if you tell me every strain over £100 good, because I know they're not. I know the amount of people. I had someone the other day in the Discord. It's a separate thing. I'm not even going to go into too deep. But someone in the Discord the other day talking about, oh, I got seeds in my Blue Lobster. And they weren't having a big old moan about it. But this is the type of thing that can happen. It's a fucking plant, mate. They got one seed in a batch of 10 grams. And they understood that this is what it is. But it just shows you, you know, like, why? Where's this £100 price coming from? And it's all this perfect thing. It's not going to be perfect, is it? Let's face it, it's a plant. But the same type of people, I'm sorry to generalize, maybe not, but a lot of the people who will be fixated on these expensive packs are also the same people who will kick off when they see a seed. If you're seeing 20 seeds in a nug this big, it's different, do you know what I mean? But over a 10G batch and you found one seed, you could probably check the next 10 packs and there's none. Anyway, different topic. But what I'm saying is that doesn't change whether you're spending £100 or whether you're spending £35, because that's the cheapest I've seen. If you've seen any cheaper, let me know. But like, I've spoken to Review Bud, right? Review Bud, if you're watching this, you're a fucking legend, bro. If you ain't checked his channel out, go and check his channel out. He said to me himself, right, he's had stuff over 100 and he's had stuff at 35. And genuinely, he's found that some of them cheaper ones have been the better strains for overall. Not just because of the fact of the quality of the flower, but also its perceived value. Do you know, when you're paying double, or in some cases triple the amount for the same amount of product, it's like you expect it to be something more than it's possible to be. Do you know what I'm saying? You expect it to, I don't know, we kind of think it's going to be this super duper whatever, and it just isn't. And then you get something that's a bit cheaper and understated, shall we say. No one's hyping it. You know, for whatever reason it is, it's mostly around price that people hype, honestly, I think. That's where the hype leads to. And I've started to stay away from it, honestly. I ain't tried Blue Lobster. I ain't tried. And some people will sit here and think, what do you know then? All right, mate, but have you tried all the same ones that I've tried? And who are you to say what one person prefers and another doesn't? Do you know what I mean? I personally, I'm just talking my experience, and it's 100% real, man. There's nothing that I'm going to try and sugarcoat or dress up to be something it's not. I've told you when I've had dead flower. I've told you when I've had mids. And I have consistently been able to get mids or better for a while now on these cheaper ranges. And it seems like overall, the prices of most of these companies are starting to drop. And the quality is starting to increase. Now, this is good. This is where we want it to be, people. This is exactly where we want it to be. But we need to lean into this. We need to start to how can I say, talk with our wallets, for want of a better phrase. We need to basically be like, I am not paying for that. I refuse to pay that price, to the point the companies are like, oh, we've got 100 and something kilo of this and it's not shifting. What's the price? 90 quid. Right, drop it down to 75. Starts to shift a little bit, still getting closer and closer to the expiry. Drop it down to 45. Gone like that. Loads of positive reviews. If it's good flower, that's what's going to happen. And I think that's where Nasty's coming in with this. I genuinely think man's clever, whether it's come from him or whoever it's come from. But this changing growing, changing the way that they do what they do and how they treat their products, alongside a steady drop in price, that is going to get customers going, and that is going to drive the market to an area. Like, you've seen all these strains selling out rapid, and they've got weight of them. And then you've got some of these more expensive ones you can just go and buy at any point. I think slowly people are starting to realise, and slowly, you know, I'm not saying you can't find quality at a high price, and I know that you probably know that, but for the ones who are raging thinking, well, I get Blue Lobster and I think it's really good, that's fine. I'm not saying that is not the case. Like, I'm genuinely not saying that Blue Lobster's not good. I'm not saying that Parley Runts or any of these higher price strains are not good. What I'm saying is we shouldn't be paying premium prices for it. And ultimately, the only way we will not pay premium prices for it, when I say premium, okay, maybe some of the better stuff in quality should be slightly higher priced than the lower stuff. Yes. Should it be priced off THC percentage? I don't think so. It's also interesting to see that on my clinic, nothing's listed as indica or sativa. They're all hybrids or sativa dominant and indica dominant. That's because everything's so hybridized anyway now, and barely any sativa dominance. Why? Because they take longer. That's ultimately why, innit? Come on. The reason why there's barely any sativa dominance on the market is because they take longer, and it's longer for them to get the bag at the end of the day. It shouldn't be like that. It shouldn't be like that. So I don't know exactly where I think they should base the pricing structure off of. That's not for me to say. That's for them to say as individuals, as businesses. But I just think the pricing structure should be lower than what it is. And our ballpark of, 35 to 130 pounds, that is too far apart for something that is not that much different in price. Do you know what I mean? That 35 that Reviewbud had, the Amnesia Haze, I think it was, Good Supply Reserve maybe, or someone like that. I can't remember now. I can't remember which one it was, but anyway, it was an Amnesia Haze, and he was buzzing with it. He said it was proper good as well, and especially for the price. And I feel like the more these lower prices come in, the more people start to see, you know what, actually, for the price I pay for that, I am actually genuinely happy. And that doesn't mean that you're cutting your standards and saying, I don't like good quality flower. That's just you registering. Because this is another thing I think people think when someone says for the price it's good, that means that, you can get something better if you pay a bit more. Doesn't always mean that. Might mean what the person means. But when I say it's good for the price, I'm just saying the price of that is good. You know what I mean? I feel like what I'm getting there is good for the price. It's good as in it's where it should be or below. I've had Good Supply Reserve OG Kush Breath for 45 this month. And honest to God, for going to bed, there is not a better strain I've had. Probably the whole time on medical. Tiger Milk was probably comparable, I'm not gonna lie, but the price difference, we're talking, in fact, it's got a similar smell, like terp profile to the Tiger Milk as well, the OGKB. But what's different is I paid 85 for the Tiger Milk and I paid £44.50 or £45, whatever it was, something like that, £45 for the OGKB. It's all sold out now, that OGKB, unfortunately. And I'm saying that because I wish I could have got more. I'm literally on the last little bit of it now. But yeah, it's one of them things. The more these companies get these flowers in that are high quality and they sell them at a price that's reasonable, and they sell off the shelves quicker than anything they've sold before, sorry. They'll start to realise, okay, with something's changing here. Like, people are starting to do this and do that, and slowly, some companies will ignore it and will continue to say, no, we're knocking it out at this price. But I think as a whole, it's inevitable that we will move the market that way, because most people, I get there's some people out there who are willing to spend that extra money, but I'll be honest with you, mate, I have a life outside of Medicated. I rolled so many words into one then. I have a life outside of my medicine, right? I love this plant, I love this flower, I love this community that we've built around it. But all of us, you'll see in the Discord, for example, everyone's got hobbies, everyone's got lives, everyone's got other things they want to do with their life. So why, and even if you don't, then save some fucking money up, mate. Why are we blowing it all on meds? It is crazy. Some people's scripts are over £700 in a month, mate. I think that's ridiculous that we should be spending that for medication, bro. It's just my 2 pence. Do you know what I mean? Who's to say I'm right? But I think over time, more and more people will agree with this, and more people will talk with their wallets, and the companies will see that this is the direction that they need to go in to survive. Ultimately, if they don't, they are going to end up falling by the wayside, because you could have a company that's just grown 100 kilo of something that they think they're going to be selling at 10, 11, 12 pounds a gram, right? You can say that it's living soil. You can say that it's hand trimmed. Some of them are gassing that as well. They'll machine trim it and finish it by hand and say it's hand trimmed. Yeah, mad. There's loads of mad things. They'll say it's this, they'll say it's that to try and warrant the value, right? They put it in a special jar, they put it in a different tub to what other people have, whatever it might be. Ultimately, the flower in there is not worth any more than we as a market say it's worth. So if we are paying these £12 a grams, that's us saying that's worth that. So just think about that when you're thinking about spending that money, right? All right, loads of people have been hyping about this strain, saying it's sick, oh, it's really good quality, or this, that, and the other. At the same time, you could get triple the amount of medication, and it could be just as good quality. It could be worse quality, but so could this also not be great quality, and you're paying £120. Do you know what I mean? It's just, I don't know, man. I think that this is something I've been wanting to speak about for a minute, and I think now is the perfect time for us to have this conversation, because I do think that the narrative change. You know, you've seen Slow Draw. I'm sure all you lot know Slow Draw. Man like Andreas, fucking legend. If you ain't checked out the Slow Draw, you ain't checked out his channel yet, go and check it out. He done a video the other day saying he's stopping with all the Cali packs, he's stopping with all the import bits. He's going purely on the medical side because he thinks that that will help to drive the market to get better. The more of us that are using it, the more of us that are interacting with this whole marketplace, the more it will be shaped to what we want as consumers. As consumers. And it's true. If we don't use this marketplace and we just slag it off, it's never ever going to get better. Never ever going to get better. And none of us want that. We want, all right, you want the legal protection, but you know, people who are saying like, get your 10 grand a month and get legal. I don't agree. Summit Slow Draw, I'm pretty sure, said in his video the other day, was he doesn't agree with that as well. And I'm the same. Getting your 10 grams a month, getting legal, and then going and buying off your black market dealer it's not helping the medical market as a whole. It might be helping you, but you don't realize what you're doing by then probably only ever buying the cheapest strain you can see on there. It kind of sounds like I'm going against what I said there, but some people will be buying 10 G's a month. They'll buy the cheapest, whatever bit they can see on there. And then when it comes and it's mids or below, they're like, fucking dead that, I can get better on black market. But you're buying one a month at the cheap end of prices. As I've said already, yeah, I have had some of the worst stuff at the cheaper prices, some of the mids and some of the best, right? I've had them all across those cheaper prices. We're talking from 40 quid up to, I'd say, 60, right? I think we should be a bit lower than that, honestly. It's a plant, right? It's a literal plant that grows out of the earth. But anyway, it does my head in that they can charge this for a plant, mate. Yeah, anyway. I'm gonna go down a tangent I don't need to go down. Do I think that we should try cheaper medical strains in the UK? I think we should. I think all of us should try, even if, you know, you just want to introduce one cheaper one each month. Don't put some big, the way I see it is if you're buying, say, something at 85, drop one of the 85s off, get 2 40, 45 packs, right? Get a 40 and a 50 if you can. It's 90 quid, do you know what I mean? It's £5 off. The point is, you're going to try 2 different flowers from potentially 2 different growers, 2 different distributors, 2 different brands, and 2 different strains ultimately for the same price that you're going to try the other one. And you're going to be able to gauge, and on top of that, you're going to be helping to push the market to where it should be for all of us. I don't think there's anyone here who's going to disagree with the fact that we should be paying a lower price for better quality and for consistent quality. Now, there is people who are going to say there's no good quality on medical, but that's not true. So we'll forget about that one, because that's just not true. I'm not going to lie and say, as I say, you might find some stuff that you don't think is fantastic, but at least you're not going to be stung with it and thinking, this literally happened to me. Out of all the packs I've bought, I would say the worst ones at the cheaper prices have been those 2 I mentioned already, and also some of the 4C stuff, and Cureleaf. Cureleaf I didn't enjoy. Some of the 4C stuff I thought was great to begin with, but out of everything I got on my first script, for example, I got 2 4C labs, 1 Tyson and 1 Lot 420 AAAA, and the two 4C were muted way more than the other two. And over time, when I started to go for more 4C, because they were a little bit cheaper, that's where I started to get like, yeah, just stuff I wasn't keen on, man. Really muted. Some didn't even look like it had seen a trim. Yeah, some of it was so macca, mate. I'm not even gonna pretend like it wasn't. But I still think it was rich for them to be charging £60 for it. I'm not gonna lie. I think if they moved the price down more to 40 quid, 30 quid, that would be reasonable for something that's not that great. But I think realistically, we should be able to be paying £40 to £50 for 10 Gs at a max for top quality. At a max, mate. I don't think it should be as high as that. We're talking big numbers these lot are moving. We're talking massive amounts of profit, and I don't know. It's not like they're going to lose the customer base, is it? Their customer base is just going to grow and grow and grow. We're so early in this. And I do think naturally it's just where it's going to go. It's where it's going to go. The quality is going to improve. The consistency is going to improve. Within some companies, this is. The ones that aren't, they will fall by the wayside. They'll either get bought out or they'll just fall apart and crumble because they can't make it work financially, ultimately, because no one's buying the flower. Same with these high price stuff. They'll either, that's what I was going to say a minute ago, yeah. If they say they grew 100 key of something for £12 a G, they're hoping to sell it, and it gets to the point of sale and it's not selling, they've sold 20% of it and it's 80% of expiry date up, they're now thinking, shit, we've got another 80 key left of this to move, and we were hoping to get £12 a G. They've based probably their next grows, like so much they will have based around the fact that they are bringing in X amount of money from this flower, right? When that happens and they don't get that amount of money and they only end up getting 40 or 30% of what they originally intended, right? They will change something. They are going to say, what did we do wrong? Like, this is not, how can I say it? This is not, can't think of a word, man. I'm making a word up in my head. Basically, they cannot continue like this. They will see that this is not feasible. Come on, I landed. Come on, people. Yeah, they will see it's not feasible to continue with those prices because it's not gonna, it's not gonna sell. Therefore, they're gonna lose out on money. They're gonna be scrapping to sell as much as they can for as low price as they can towards the end of the expiry date, so they don't just lose the money, because obviously once it goes past that expiry date they can't sell it, and the flower doesn't know what the date is, obviously, but at the same time they have to put expiries on it. And I think that's great, because then this can help us to drive the market this way. They'll start to be like, shit, that's all gone to waste, we couldn't get through it, or we could, but the only way we sold the last 80% of the stock was by reducing the price by 80%. And yeah, I just think that's where it needs to go, people. As I say, I'm not trying to knock people. Don't take it personal if you're out there buying these more expensive packs, because I've done it myself. Like I say, all right, I ain't gone for the 100 quidders. I ain't spent 100, because I just cannot warrant doing that. Yeah, I just can't warrant it. I've a baby. Mate, I don't even need to explain myself. I've got, as I said, we all have other things in our life that we need money for, right? I don't want to spend all my money on flower. I would much rather pay for other things that I need to pay for in my life and not have a stress, rather than thinking, oh, I need to spend all my money on flower, otherwise it's going to be shit. And then when it comes and it's mids anyway, and I'm like, oh, this is a joke, this medical is wasting all my money. These companies are literally just getting rich off you. You're like a number in thousands of people that are paying money into their bank accounts, and they're laughing, saying, how are people paying this price? That genuinely, I think that's what's happening. They're literally laughing, going, can you believe people are paying it? We had a chat about this in the Discord the other day. We're always having chats in there. People, if you ain't joined the Discord, go and jump in the Discord, man. There is some absolute legends in there. I haven't been doing too many videos lately because I've been working hard on trying to improve the experience for everyone. The onboarding experience is now way easier. Anyone who did try to join previously and you got a bit lost in the rules section, just go and check it out again, mate. Go and check it out again, because it's all improved now. It should be way easier for you to make your way around and to understand what's going on. If you have any issues, drop me a message. But yeah, I'm gassed, mate. I'm gassed that we've built what we've built so far. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. Yeah, what a vibe, mate. What a vibe. You lot, whether it's the streams, which we now add in a new stream, going to be a Friday night stream as well. So we got a Wednesday night stream, Friday night stream, Sunday night stream. So we got 3 streams a week now. Yeah, this is the vibes that we're on, people, and it's all thanks to you lot. Whether you like the videos, comment on the videos, subscribe to the channel, whether you're a member of the Discord, whether you're a member of the channel, big up to the channel members, legends as always. Yeah, either any of them, even if you just watch the videos and you're lurking, you never write a comment. Yeah, I appreciate you, bro. I really do. Every single one of yous, I really appreciate you, because what we're doing as a whole is helping more and more people understand this market. The conversations that go on in the comments, the conversations that go on in the Discord, like the Discord, for example, it isn't about me. It is about everyone connecting. Yeah, and it truly is. When you look in there, there is so many people connecting, whether they're then connecting for something to do with this plant and helping each other out, you know, with different decisions on maybe someone's experience with a certain clinic or someone's experience with a certain flower or whatever it might be, or stuff outside of that, mate. I seen someone the other day, mate, I can't even, I was about to say one story, but then about 3 or 4 started popping into my head that were similar. People just want to help each other out, and that is the type of place that we have curated. And we've done it all because of you lot within the last 6 months. So can you imagine where we're going to get in the 6 months from now? Yeah, man, I'm buzzing for it. I just appreciate every single one of you more than you fucking understand, and I mean that. There is a lot more videos of these coming. I want to get back on these car videos. These are literally my favourite to film. It's like it reminds me of the stream. It's like us just having a chat about a certain topic that I know I've got a lot to say about. But yeah, man, it's one of them things. Don't get disheartened though. Like I say, if you buy some of these cheaper strains and you find something that's not, still do your research. Still do your research. That's what I would say. Don't willy-nilly just buy the cheaper strains and expect them to be fire, because I'm not saying they will be. I think I've been pretty clear on that. Sorry, people. Oh, shattered, mate. But yeah, don't be expecting every single one to be fire, because they're not. I'm not even going to gas it up like that. Do your research. Do you know what I mean? Do your research as you normally would. And there's only so much research you can also do, because a lot of people's opinions online are going to be different to yours. The batch they got could be different to yours. Ultimately, you know, do what suits you as a person. Don't do what people are telling you should do, right? This is where I think a lot of the higher priced purchasing comes from. People thinking because other people are doing it and they're saying it's good, or that's where the only place you can get quality or whatever, then they're going with it. Do what suits you. If it doesn't suit you to be spending that money, or you don't want to live in a future where that's the market, yeah, then do what suits you, mate. Don't worry about what other people are doing. I would never have found some of the proper good quality flowers like that OGKB, for example. That's not I wouldn't say that's the freshest of them all. It's a very nice bit of flower though, and it really does what it's meant to do for me. But some of the other stuff from Big Nasty lately has been so fresh, mate. Sticky, like no trichome heads falling off in the tub. Like some of the others are so dry, the trichome heads are all getting bashed about and stuck to the tub. Some of the ones I've had recently have been that fresh that not a trichome head's coming off, mate. They're sticky. Like you touch the nugs and your fingers are sticking together. This is what we should be getting, people. And we should be getting it at prices that are way lower than what the most of the market is doing right now. I think we're getting there. I think we're getting there as a whole. Step by step, we'll do it. But yeah, big up everyone. I appreciate you. I'm going to end the video here because I think I'll just go around the same loop again. But I'm really passionate about this, man. I think these companies are taking the royal piss. Some of them are not, but the ones that are, they'll either have to change, shape up, or ship out, as they say. Do you know what I mean? And I think that's ultimately, the more of us that act on this and show them this, the more that they will do that. So yeah, appreciate you all for being here, man. As I say, more of these videos to come. I really do enjoy these ones, and I've got a hell of a lot of topics that I want to speak about. Sometimes it's a conversation in the Discord and it sparks my head, like, I need to talk about this because not enough people are talking about this. And I've just been yeah, I've not been prioritizing doing the videos. I've been prioritizing trying to sort the community out with as much of the things that they're requesting as I can. I've been trying to, yeah, I need to bring back to base right about now and give myself some life and do these videos, because this is what I started this all off doing, and this is what I love doing the most. So yeah, any suggestions you have in the Discord, do hit them up in the suggestions tab over there. Step by step I'm working on stuff, but just know that the priority is coming back here. I don't want people thinking over here that I've abandoned it, that, you know, we're doing videos way more often. And I know what a lot of you are going to say. A lot of you are going to say, chill, don't overdo yourself. And you're right, I do need to chill and don't overdo myself. But I'd say sometimes I'm overdoing myself in other areas and not doing the bits that are really the most meaningful to me. And that's this right here, this talking with you guys, like sharing my experiences, conversating, and just letting out a bit of, sometimes it's a bit of a vent, man. It's a bit of a chat about what's been going on, and yeah, I just enjoy it, mate. I enjoy it. This is what I'm here for. This is why I created this channel in the first place. And I'm gassed at this community that we've built off the back of it, mate. Genuinely I am. I also have been spending, I'm not gonna lie, I've been spending a lot of time just in the VC, in the Discord, when I have chance, and I end up getting in there, and I'm in there for hours, mate, talking away, because you lot are all, like, imagine this conversation with loads of other people who are also interested in the same thing. Most of you will know, people in your actual real life would probably not be that interested in this type of conversation. They would sit 40 minutes through into a video talking about this stuff, and still be taking in what the person's saying. But here we are. I'm hoping there's a few people here. If you are here, drop below the word, what should we say, cheaper. Let's just drop the word cheaper below. So if you've made it to this point in the video, big fucking shout out to you, mate. I appreciate you for a start, for listening, even if you don't agree. Let me know what you think below. You might not agree with me. You might think that we should be pushing the prices higher. Who knows? But yeah, let me know what you think below, man. Stick a comment below as well saying cheaper, just so I know that you've got to this point. It's always interesting to see who gets to this point in the video, because I know some people obviously are going to drop off a lot earlier, but the ones who stay to this point and are so dialed in, I really do appreciate you, man. Fucking legends. Every single one of you, thanks for being here. Thanks for helping me to grow this thing and make this even a possibility, because my mind, sometimes I get in my head. That's been a thing that's stopping me with doing videos a bit recently anyway, is I'll get in my head a bit about, like, oh, I don't know, it just feels a bit of pressure now, do you know what I mean? Because I didn't expect to be building it this fast. Anyway, I'm digressing here on pure other things that we don't need to be speaking about, so I'm going to dip. I appreciate you all. Big love, and I'll see you either over in the Discord, on the stream tomorrow, maybe on the stream Friday, or if not, it'll be on the stream on Sunday. Hopefully I'll be able to catch you one of you over there. Thanks for being here, people. Take it easy and stay medicated.